Today, I'm going to show you how to add motion blur to your videos right inside Premiere Pro. You probably know this already, but there isn't an effect that you can just drag and drop and motion blur will be applied to a clip. You kind of have to manually do it. So I'm going to show you how to do that today. You'll want to use this motion blur effect that I will show you in a minute whenever you're zooming in. You don't want your zooms to be just very standard. You want them to have that blur, it really completes the look. So what you'll do, go to your timeline and move your playhead to where you want the zoom to start. What you want to do now, go to Effects, search Transform, and drag it onto your clip. And again, we want your playhead right where you want the zoom to start. So then go to Effects Controls. And usually what you would do is if you wanted to scale, you'd go to this motion bar and use the scale. But again, you need to add the transform effect to be able to get motion blur. So you'll scroll down your effects control panel. And the first thing you'll do is hit the scale keyframe. You will uncheck this use composition shutter angle, uncheck that, and change your shutter angle to anywhere from 200 to 360. I usually go for about 250. And what this means is the higher your shutter angle is, the more blur you'll have. So you can crank it all the way to 360 if you want that super blurred effect. I find about 200 to 250 is a good medium where you still get a lot of blur, but it's not too much. And anything under 200 isn't enough blur for me. So our scale is keyframed, use composition shutter angle is unchecked, and our shutter angle is changed to 250. So now what you'll want to do is move your playhead to where you want the zoom effect to end. So what you want to do is just go to your scale, and I want to zoom in a lot on this. Obviously we want to keep the quality, but I think it'll be cool if we zoom up to like a medium size shot. So let's try 200, scaling in by 200. And I forgot to mention, if you want to control not just the scale, but also the position, you would go to the first keyframe, keyframe your position, go to the end keyframe, make sure they're aligned perfectly. You want them to be in sync. So just zoom in, make sure they're at the same point, and do this right about here. And now you have position and scale, but in most cases, you'll probably be fine just using the scale. So let's watch it back. And that's pretty good. And if you wanted to make it slower or faster, you can do either. To make it slower, you would highlight your last two keyframes and drag them out. And now it's slower. But if you wanted to make it faster, do the opposite and drag them closer to your keyframes. And really now it's just a game of trial and error, seeing where you want your keyframes to be, seeing how fast you want the transition to start, seeing what looks best. So I'm just going to watch this back a couple times. Okay, this is looking good, but to smooth this out a bit more, what you'll do is you'll highlight both keyframes, right click on them, temporal interpolation, and go to ease in. That makes it a bit smoother, but let's take it up a notch more. So go here, drop down the scale button. So you zoom in, and now you can grab these handles to make a nice S curve instead of it being linear. And now you'll see it's super smooth. It's more of a gradual zoom rather than a linear zoom, which is nice. It's more appealing to the eye. And before I move on to the second way on how to add motion blur, I just want to remind you guys to subscribe, drop a like, drop a comment, tell us what you want us to create next. We're still a small channel, and that engagement really helps us grow. Our only goal is to help you become a better content creator, a better video editor, and we're doing it for free. Subscribing is free. These videos are free, so help us out. Back to the video. Okay, so I brought in this drone clip, and as you can see, I have a speed ramp as well. It goes from, slower motion to faster motion, and it is the perfect opportunity to add in some blur. It'll smooth it out, make it a bit more believable, and just more appealing to the eye. So what you'll do here is you'll look up directional blur, add it right onto your clip. And something to note about the directional blur effect is that it's only left to right, right to left, up and down. If you wanted to zoom in, you will need to use the transform effect. And go to the point in your clip where the spin starts to pick up, or wherever you have the most motion, which for me would be about right here. And then you'll scroll down to your effects controls and keyframe, direction, and blur length. Move about a couple frames forward. Much like our last example, you can move these around once you finish. So first thing you'll do is change your blur length to about 30 to 40. Somewhere in there is a good distance. But you'll see right away that this is blurring top to bottom. Don't worry, there's an easy fix. Go to direction. And because we're going from left to right, we're turning left to right, you'll want to change this to 90. If it was going right to left, you would go -90. And if you wanted to go up or down, you would leave it at 0. So let's take a look at what this looks like. Okay, so as you guys can see, that is just way too much. So what I usually like to do, instead of messing around with all the numbers, I'm gonna drag my last two keyframes out. And I'm just gonna keep dragging these out until I like the amount of blur. The more you drag these out, the longer it will take for the blur effect to occur. And then we can see what looks the best. So it's still a bit too much. Let's keep dragging them out. That looks pretty good. Okay, so that is looking good. I like the length. So what you'll do is you will add new keyframes. You can delete the old ones. And now you have it with that blur. And something to note is that this clip is pretty short because I speed ramped it pretty fast, but it will work on short clips, long clips, whatever it is. Okay, and there is one last third option you can try. Drag in your clip, go to effects and search echo, drag it right on top of your clip. Now you can see it messed with the colors a bit, no problem. Go to effects controls, go to echo, and instead of doing add, do screen, and now it's fixed. So now what you want to do is change this echo time to a positive number. Let's see, you kind of just want to play around with it. You probably do about 0.1. I think 0.1 looks pretty good. And as you can see, if you play it, there's a bit of motion blur. It's a bit too much. So let's drop it down. Let's try 0.05. So a lower number definitely works better. And then you can also mess with the decay a bit and do about 0.7. And yeah, now there's some motion blur. And there you go. Those are the three main ways to add motion blur to your clips in Premiere Pro. And if you made it this far, I know you liked the video. Make sure to subscribe, like, and comment below what you want to learn how to do next. We have a ton of other videos like this on our page, or you can just click right here. It'll bring you to our most recent one. Check out Mirror Camp, join our online school for more, and I will see you guys in the next video.